Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining my live stream. Hope everything is going well for you guys. And in today's live stream, we're going to be talking about a lot of things, but I am going to be waiting for people to join, so let's go ahead and let some people know about it. So if you are joining right now, just be patient. I'm just going to be doing something real quick, but I should be there soon. And if you guys hear that in the background, that's just my kids. They're playing all over the house. But yeah, and if you hear anything like that, don't get jealous about that. But like I said, I'm just doing something real quick. Just be patient. But yeah, so like I said, we do certainly need to be watching the live stream pretty closely. Oh no. But okay, there we go. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, I'm certainly live. We're gonna go back to where we were before. Just making sure everything's working right, and it does look like everything's working right. So like I said, we are currently live right now. We will be needing to be watching for a potential significant outbreak as we do get closer. So as we go ahead and start looking at what's happening across the United States right now, as you can see, we're going to be going to the U.S., and as you can see, there is some chances for severe weather down here to the deep south across Texas. And let me go ahead and pull up the Storm Prediction Center so I can also show you guys the other severe weather threats too as well. So yeah, so we will certainly be needing to be watching for a potential tornado outbreak, like I said, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But I'm just showing this because there might be some people who I don't know, and I'm just pointing this out to say that if you do live in this enhanced risk down here to the south, which does include Fort Stockton back in the Midland, there is an enhanced level 3 out of 5 threat. Ohio Valley isn't in any threat today, thankfully, but back into places like Illinois is included in a threat too as well, so that will be something to keep an eye on. Illinois doesn't have any threat for tornadoes today, but there is a chance of a significant tornado down here towards Texas, so if you live in this 10%, which you probably don't, make sure to be on very high alert down there, and that will be for today with a wind and even a threat for some very large hail down here towards Texas. But as we do head into tomorrow, as you can see, there is a marginal risk over here towards western Pennsylvania, back into portion there of Ohio. But there is also another marginal risk that goes down into Little Rock, back into Jackson, Alexandria, and even into portions here of Texas with a chance of some tornadoes down here. Wind threat, there is a 15% risk for damaging winds, and hail threat, there's a 15% chance for large hail. Now, this is where it starts to get concerning, okay? Because we do have a massive enhanced risk across portions here of southern Kansas. Yeah, southern Kansas, and even the eastern part of Kansas, heading into Oklahoma and back into places like southern Nebraska, which does include Lincoln too as well. So if you live in this area, you do have a chance of significant severe weather, so make sure to be on high alert there. But then as we also look at Tuesday's threat, look at that. Tuesday has a slight risk level 2 out of 5 threat across the Ohio Valley, which does include Ohio, Indiana, getting down there into Kentucky, back into Tennessee, down there towards Arkansas, up there towards Illinois, southern Wisconsin, eastern Iowa, back into a pretty big portions there of Missouri. So if you live in this area, which you probably do, which does include Fort Wayne, Chicago, Des Moines, Peoria, Springfield, Jefferson City, back into Springfield, back into Little Rock, back into Evansville, Louisville, and back into even Cincinnati, Ohio. So, like I said, if you do live in the threat, make sure to be on high alert for Tuesday next week, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did see an upgrade to an enhanced risk of severe weather somewhere in this area. I think the place that an enhanced risk would be the greatest at would be this area right here. So if you do live in this pink area, be on high alert for a potential upgrade, because I do think that will be possible in the future outlooks. That may include Peoria, Springfield, St. Louis, back into Evansville. So if you do live in this area, be on high alert for a potential upgrade to an enhanced risk, which is going to be a pretty concerning thing as we do get closer. And again, that could lead to a significant tornado outbreak if we do get a threat for strong tornadoes. Now, if we also look at Wednesday too as well. So Wednesday right here is including the same areas. Look at that, back into Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee. This one now includes Mississippi, Arkansas, northwest Louisiana, back into Texas, back into eastern Oklahoma, pretty big portion there of Missouri, and as well as Illinois. So again, if you live in the threat, which Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky are included in another threat again, make sure to be on high alert for potentially significant severe weather outbreak and even a tornado outbreak that may be ongoing as we do get closer into the future outlooks. And something else I forgot to point out at the end is feel free to leave questions in the chat. They must be respectful though, so just make sure you are being careful about what you say, but you can leave questions in the chat if you want about, if there's going to be a tornado outbreak or if your area is going to get hit. You can leave those areas in the chat if you want, but just make sure it is respectful, because I am not going to be doing with respectful things today, or I'm not going to be doing with mean things today, sorry. So yeah, make sure to leave questions in the chat if you want, just make sure it's not rude. But we're going to also be taking a look at something else too, okay? So if we go ahead and look at the Colorado State University, so we're going to be going over here, and we're going to be going to the 3 to 8 day. Look at that. On Monday, it starts out with a high risk of severe weather across portion there of Oklahoma, and we're actually going to go to day 3 so we can zoom into that a little bit. And as you can see, there is currently a high risk for severe storms across portions here of Oklahoma into southern Kansas, and then we got that moderate area around the high risk, and then we got that enhanced risk in the red area, and then we even got this yellow color in going up there towards Dakota. Let's see here. What is the chance for severe tornadoes in Evansville? So for Evansville, I think you're talking about Evansville, Indiana. So for Evansville, the chances of tornadoes tomorrow are low. But let's actually go ahead and show you something else though that does show you that there may be tornadoes in Evansville. So like I said, there's not going to be any tornadoes tomorrow for Evansville because Evansville is not included in a threat for severe storms tomorrow. But on Tuesday next week, as you can see, there is currently an enhanced risk of severe weather that does include all of Indiana, back into northern Kentucky, into Ohio, back into Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee. All those areas are included in a chance for significant severe storms as we do head into Tuesday. And Evansville is located right there, which is actually in this hatched risk, which means there could be significant severe weather. So like I said, no tornadoes tomorrow, but I do think Evansville could see one as we do head into Tuesday next week, which is going to be something that we do really need to be keeping an eye on too as well. So make sure to be on high alert in that area. But if we go ahead and look at day 5, okay, this is where it gets very wild. Look at that. So right now, the Colorado State University has a high risk of severe storms across portions here of southern Indiana, back into Illinois, even into Kentucky, Ohio. All this area shaded in the black netted area could indicate a significant tornado outbreak. So Evansville will be included in a chance of a significant tornado outbreak. So if you do live in this dark purple area, and I can go ahead and zoom into it so you guys can see, there currently is a high risk of severe weather across portions here of Illinois, back into Indiana, including Evansville, back into places like Louisville, Kentucky. So again, if you live in this purple area, which is a high risk of severe weather, pretty much the highest severe weather threat that the Colorado State University can issue, be on very high alert because this area right here that you see is currently needs to be on high alert and does have a high risk of severe weather. I don't know if you know what a high risk is, but it's a 100% chance of severe weather. So again, we will be needing to be watching this area very closely for a significant tornado outbreak, and not only this area, but this entire area that's outlined in black could have a significant tornado outbreak, but especially this area and this area will be the two areas to be watching for the most. So yes, I do certainly think this area right here, including Evansville, will be in for a significant tornado outbreak as we do get closer, and a tornado outbreak could mean several large and extremely dangerous tornadoes. So make sure to be on high alert for that as we do head into Wednesday next week, okay? So yeah, we will be needing to be watching that as we do get closer. But if we also look at the models, okay, this is another thing that determines on if we see severe storms or not. So if we go ahead and look at the supercell composite, as you can see, it starts out pretty extreme on Tuesday, which is when we had that site risk, Tuesday into Wednesday. But look at this, guys. As we get closer, look at that red starting to show up. That's greater and more extreme than the orange color. And if we go ahead and click on it, we're going to be go ahead and grab a sounding in the eastern part of the tri-state. Look at what pulls up. A tornado potential, okay? A potential for a tornado. And I actually had another area to watch for, so we're going to be clicking up here too as well. We're going to grab another sounding too as well, just to give you guys a good idea. And look at that, a PDS tornado could be happening up here towards, Spencer County, Indiana, Perry County, Indiana, back into DuBois, even Warwick County, Indiana, back up here towards a couple of other counties. Those areas will have the potential for a PDS tornado, and if you don't know what that is, a PDS tornado means a potential dangerous situation, which means a extremely dangerous and strong tornado is on the ground, which isn't happening right now, but this is saying that this may happen as we do get into Wednesday, and that's going to be a big concern for Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, and even into Ohio. So if you do live in any of those areas, be on very high alert for a significant tornado outbreak as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Let's see here. Mountain Endu says, how about Florida? For Florida, the Florida or places down there towards Florida are actually decent. So as you can see, as we do head into Saturday next week, so Saturday not this week, but Saturday next week, so that's gonna be about a week from now, Florida might be seeing some severe weather, because as you can see, Supercell Composite is pretty decent in Florida. So I'm just gonna say Florida might be in for a potential tornado outbreak too as well. Not to say that it will be happening. I actually didn't mean to say that Florida will be seeing a tornado outbreak, but I did mean to say that Florida may have the potential for tornadoes as we do get closer. So Florida might be seeing tornadoes as we do head into Saturday next week, which will be about a week from now. But like I said, I don't know if Florida is going to be seeing a tornado outbreak, because if we look at the Cape values are pretty decent. They're not that high though, which is going to, kind of depose the storms a little bit, break down the storms. So I don't think Florida is gonna really be in for any thing extreme, but I do think Florida may be at risk for tornadoes. So that will be something to watch for as we do head into next weekend. But yeah, so we're going to go back to where we were before. Like I said, feel free to leave more questions in the chat if you haven't already. As long as it's respectful, I'm okay with that. But if we go ahead and also look at, or we go back to Colorado State University, we're actually going to be looking at a day that's going to be after Wednesday. So as you can see, after Wednesday, there is an enhanced risk down here towards portions here of the Deep South, which does include Arkansas, Mississippi, and as well as Alabama. So those areas may also be at risk too as well, but the main day that we're focusing on is Wednesday again for a potential significant tornado outbreak to potentially be ongoing across mainly Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, and as well as Kentucky, but areas around that could still be in for a potential tornado. So like I said, if you do live in this area, which you probably do, make sure to be on very high alert, because this is not going to be a very fun event as we do head closer. So we will certainly be needing to watch for that. But something else I do want to show you guys is the excessive rainfall outlook. Hope you guys are staying tuned for this, because there is a large area that has a slight risk for flash flooding. That does include areas down here in Texas, and this is a 15% chance of severe or flash flooding. So this is a 15% chance of flash flooding or greater. So yeah, this yellow color right here that you see is that 15% risk for flash flooding. That does include Texas heading into southern Oklahoma, and then there's also a marginal risk down here towards the eastern Ohio Valley, down here towards the Appalachian Mountains. But then as we head into tomorrow, okay, there is a moderate risk for flash flooding across portions here of Texas. That does include Houston, guys. And if you live in this moderate risk, this is going to be an impactful area that may see flash flooding. So this area might be talking up to 6 inches of rainfall as we do head into tomorrow, and that's down here towards Houston. So if there's anyone that has joined from down here, make sure to be on very high alert for potential flash flooding down here in Houston. But then as we head into day 3, that's where things, shift off to the north, where we do have 2 areas to watch for. We got one down here towards the plains and Midwest, and then we got another one up here towards Montana, heading into South Dakota, but mainly Montana. And as we head into day 4, that's where it gets active for the Ohio Valley. That's going to be from Tuesday into Wednesday, where there is a marginal risk for flash flooding from Arkansas back up there into Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, back into Wisconsin. So you at least got a 5% chance of flash flooding in this entire green area, which means there's a chance for some isolated flash flooding. So some areas that live in this green color may get up to 2 inches of rainfall in some areas, but that's going to be more isolated though. But then on day 5, look at this, guys. There is a slight risk for flash flooding across southern Indiana, back into southwest Ohio, into a pretty good swath there of Kentucky, into Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, and even southern Illinois. So if you do live in the slight risk, which does include Evansville, make sure to be on very high alert for flash flooding also, which will also be ongoing during the significant tornado outbreak, which may be significant. So make sure to be on high alert for flash flooding also, and that will be on Wednesday next week if you do live in southern Illinois, southern Indiana, Ohio, back into Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Missouri. Just be on high alert for potentially up to 3 inches of rainfall in some areas, which will be scattered. They won't be isolated, but they will be scattered most likely. So that will be something to keep an eye on as we do head closer. And again, if we go ahead and take a look at the risks that we're mainly concerned about, which will be on Wednesday next week. I'm going to go ahead and zoom into this again. Again, there is a high risk of severe weather across portions here of southern Indiana, back into Illinois, and even areas around that also have a pretty good chance of severe storms too as well. So if you don't know what it is, as you can see, this pink area, or I mean this purple area that you see right there, is indicating a 100% risk of severe weather. I'm just going over this again to let you guys know that there may be a significant tornado outbreak. And let me go ahead and close the door because my kids are being really loud right now. So just wait a second. Sorry about that. I didn't want you guys to worry about all the yelling and screaming that was ongoing in the background. But like I said, this pink or purple area right here, I don't know why I keep calling it pink, but this dark purple area that you see right there, that includes Illinois and Indiana, that's a 100% chance of severe weather. So since this purple area right here will be needing to be watching for severe storms, we do need to be on high alert for potentially a significant tornado outbreak. So this area right here that you see in dark purple, that's a 100% chance of severe weather. So make sure to be on high alert if you live in that dark purple area, meaning a high risk. And then this light purple area right here is indicating a 15 or a 50% chance of severe weather rather. So that area right there is a 15%. And then this red area right here indicates a 30% chance of severe weather. And then this yellow area right here is a 15% chance of severe weather. So that is a 15% chance of severe weather pretty much located in this yellow area. And then on the brown area, which is very widespread, this brown area right here indicates only a 5% chance of severe weather. So like I said, if you do live in this purple area, which again indicates a high risk of severe weather, be on very high alert for potentially significant tornadoes that may be very long tracked, could even be destructive, and may even be historic. We'll have to see how things turn out. But again, if you live in one of these purple areas, especially this dark purple area, be on high alert for potentially a significant tornado outbreak as we do head into Wednesday next week. So make sure to be on high alert at that time. And again, if you haven't left a question already, feel free to leave it in the chat, and people who have left questions in the chat, you guys can leave more if you want. I will absolutely answer them. So if you want to leave more questions in the chat about the significant tornado outbreak, which would be the best thing to leave the question about because that's what we're talking about right now, you can go ahead and do that. And like I said, I will absolutely answer them because the significant tornado outbreak is going to be dangerous. But yeah, if we go ahead and also look at the Storm Prediction Center forecasts again, as we do head into Tuesday next week, okay? So for Tuesday's severe weather threat, again, this yellow color right here indicates a 15% chance of severe weather pretty much in this entire area right here. And I know the Colorado State University shows a high risk on Wednesday next week, but the Storm Prediction Center only has a 15% chance of severe weather. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they issued an enhanced risk in this area for Tuesday. Not Wednesday, but for Tuesday next week. And so this will be something to keep an eye on as we do get closer. But like I said, again, I know I didn't show it on the screen, but like I said, Wednesday, which is the day that we expect a significant tornado outbreak on, is still showing a 15% chance of severe weather in this area. So I do think the Storm Prediction Center will issue a enhanced risk for this entire area right here that you see. So this entire area right here will be an enhanced risk. And then this area right here will be a moderate risk. And then just a little area in this will probably be a high risk. So that is going to be something that we may be needing to watch for as we do get closer, because the CSU, which is Colorado State University, does the same thing that the Storm Prediction Center does. And so like I said, this could certainly be on the extreme side of things as we do head closer. But like I said, both Tuesday and Wednesday, but especially Wednesday, which is what I'm showing right now, is going to have the potential for a significant tornado outbreak, but especially Wednesday, like I've been talking about. And so this is going to be something to keep an eye on, and I'm going to go ahead and outline this again. So this is going to be the enhanced risk. This is going to be the moderate risk, which is just below a high risk. And then this area right here could be the high risk right here. That does include Evansville. But like I said, they haven't issued that yet, but we will still need to be watching it as we do head closer. So, again, make sure to be on very high alert if you live in this 15% color for Tuesday and this 15% color for Wednesday. So this is Tuesday threat. This is Wednesday threat, okay? So make sure to be on high alert if you live in one of these threats, but especially Wednesday, which does look to have a potential tornado outbreak with it. So make sure to be on high alert at that time. But like I said, feel free to leave questions in the chat if you haven't already. That is perfectly fine with me, but if you haven't left questions yet, you can certainly do it, like I said, and that would be awesome. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, we're gonna be answering questions if you want. You guys can also be leaving zip codes in the chat if you want to as well. You guys don't have to, but you can if you want. And that's probably not really a smart thing to do, because some people might be joining who you don't know. So sharing personal information like that might be not a good idea, but what I'm trying to say is it's your choice. You can do it if you want. So like I said, you guys can leave zip codes in the chat, and I can do your guys' local forecasts, or you guys can leave more questions in the chat like what you guys have been doing. So feel free to do that if you haven't already. And again, that would be great if you haven't yet. But yeah, so let's actually go ahead and look at the NAM model, okay? So we haven't looked at the NAM model yet, and let's actually see what it shows. Wow, yeah, that's actually pretty extreme right there. Look at that, guys, showing very high significant tornado parameter right there. Look at that significant tornado parameter, guys. That's a 5 out of 10, literally located right here in Kentucky, which does indicate a very high chance of severe weather. We'll have to see what the NAM shows in the later outlooks, but again, from what we know so far, that is definitely going to be a pretty significant tornado outbreak for this area right here that I'm getting ready to shade right now. So for this area right here, we'll potentially be seeing a significant tornado outbreak, like I've been saying. So yeah, we definitely been talking about a lot of things. Like I said, if you haven't left questions in the chat already, make sure to do that. I will absolutely answer them. But let's also go ahead and take a look at how the ocean temperatures are doing right now. And as you can see, ocean temperatures are actually getting ready to drop again. So as you can see, ocean temperatures have been kind of going up and down, and then going straight down, going a little bit up, and then going down. And then as you can see, it kind of that dot's kind of leaning just a little bit down, so that probably means it's going to be doing that again. So this will be something to keep an eye on too, because as soon as it gets past this 0, so 0.0, as soon as this blue line gets past the 0, which it hasn't, it will become a La Nina, and the ocean temperatures right now are pretty cold right now, at least in this part right here. So right now, this entire area right here is experiencing cooler than normal temperatures, and that's the reason why that blue line has gone down, is because this area right here is experiencing cooler than normal temperatures. And the reason why it still shows it above 0.0 is because lots of the waters around it are still warmer, so pretty much this entire area right here that you see is warmer than normal. So, like I said, we will be needing to be watching for a potential La Nina coming up, and so this will be needing to be something to keep an eye on as we do head closer, and this could also be impacting the hurricane season, which which I haven't been talking about yet, but that's because most people don't really live near the Gulf of Mexico, which is in this area right here. But yeah, the La Nina conditions will certainly make it easier for hurricanes to form, because those trade winds will be blowing more this way, or at least they'll be weaker, and so there won't be any wind shear in the Atlantic Ocean, which, like I said, will be helping out a lot for hurricanes, because as long as there's no wind shear, hurricanes can develop right here, head down towards the Caribbean, and curve back around to where they may impact the Gulf of Mexico. So something like that may occur as we do head closer. But what we're mainly concerned about is kind of like this, because we don't usually see hurricanes go like straight through land like that very much. But I mean, it's gonna be a very active hurricane season for sure, guys. So I do hope people along the Gulf of Mexico are being prepared for that, because this could even be a record hurricane season. So make sure to be on high alert for that if you live by the Gulf of Mexico. But yeah, so like I've been saying, guys, we will have the potential for a significant tornado outbreak as we do head closer. We also been talking about a lot of other things too as well. So we've been live for quite a while almost. So like I said, we will be needing to be watching for a significant tornado outbreak on Wednesday, which again, this is the high risk right here of severe weather. So if you live anywhere in the two purple colors right here, so pretty much this dark purple right here, and as well as the purple around it, be on high alert for a potential significant tornado outbreak as we do head closer. And I'll also keep you guys updated with the latest as we do head closer, so make sure to be on very high alert. But thank you guys very much for joining my live stream. Hope this has helped you guys out a lot. Like I said, we're going to continue to help you guys stay safe from the significant tornado outbreak as we do head closer. We'll have to see if things get worse. We'll have to see if things die down. It's just a 50-50 between both of them. So like I said, if you guys haven't liked and subscribed already, make sure to like and subscribe, and we will continue to keep you guys posted with the latest.